The good times keep getting gooder because Adam Carolla is coming to your town August 29th in Provo, Utah at Dry Bar. Torrance, California, Sunday, August 31st, 2 shows at Mom Said Yes. Yes, that's the name of the venue, Mom Said Yes. And September 6th in Charlotte, North Carolina, 2 shows at the Comedy Zone. Coming up in September, El Paso, Albuquerque, Flagstaff, and more. Get your tickets for all these incredible shows at adamcarolla.com. And now, he doesn't need a seat at the table because he built the seat and the table. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on the choice, but again, it's a little hot. Yeah, there we go. Lou Diamond Phillips in studio. It's great to see Lou Diamond Phillips.
Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It's got a nice sound.
You got to say all 3, you know. Or
What
you
is
can go like
LDP. Where does Diamond come from?
I was actually named after Gunnery Sergeant Llewellyn Diamond in World War II.
Really?
He was a kind of Marine, Audie Murphy of the Pacific Theater.
God.
And my dad, Gerald Upchurch, was in the Navy and read a biography on the man, liked the name. My paternal grandmother, her name was Luella, so I guess he was partial to Lou. And so he named me Lou Diamond. And, and then my biological father passed, and my mother remarried George Phillips, hence the Phillips. So all of it is actually legit and authentic.
How old were you when your biological dad passed?
Like less than a year old, yeah.
Oh,
it was
So
it
he was
quick.
really young.
Yeah, he was young.
How did he pass?
It's shrouded in mystery. Actually, I got a lot of.
I kind of miss that.
Yeah.
I mean, do you miss the some say, others say? And now it's all the internet, right?
You get a story from grandma, and then you get a story from one of your uncles, and never really understood what happened there. But he had an early demise, but obviously gave me a name that has stood me well lo these many years.
Okay, let's talk about memory.
Uh-oh.
Well, so I'm starting to worry because I hear everyone's rendition of life, and then I go, oh, really? And then I think back, I don't know why, but I think back when I was a kid, they had those time in life books, the Old West, the gunslingers, and they'd run those commercials, right?
Yeah.
And then they'd go, Doc Hobson, so mean, he once shot a man just for snoring.
Yeah.
And you're like, and back then, I was like, oh, man, that guy was mean. And now I go, wait a minute. Everyone's full of shit now. He's a psychopath. But I don't even know if this happened or not.
Yeah.
Because we have computers now, and we don't know what's happened and what's not happened. They just had hearsay and campfire talk with drunk guys who had no education.
And then passed the story down, through the ages. And I'm sure it was embellished, as time went on. Yeah.
And I had 2 incidents happen to me in a week. One was yesterday, and I'm trying to figure out recollection and people, which is I was doing a car race at Laguna Seca. I was at the car weekend, whatever, and I had a guy stop me at a car auction preview, and he goes, Adam, I just want to thank you because I remember being here years ago, and you were back there, and you bought a Toyota, and you had all those kids, and you let them ride in the car with you, and I just think that was great, man. And I never forgot it. I always think about you in a good way. And I thought, I just going, yeah, thanks, man. But I've never bought a Toyota. And I don't have any kids that go to those auctions and get the Toyota. So he has some memory.
Yeah.
And it's real powerful because he stopped me and he almost started tearing up when he was telling me this thing that never happened.
Yeah.
And then yesterday I was on set doing a TV show and a big chauffeur guy, looked like a security guard, and he stopped me and he goes, you could tell he was getting a little emotional. He was having trouble. He was nervous. He goes, Adam, I know you're busy. I just got to get something out. Many years ago in Fresno, about 20 years ago, I was your driver, and I'll never forget it. You gave me a huge tip, And I thought to myself, okay, so far it doesn't
really, yeah.
I'm the guy who goes, doesn't the company take care of that? I have to do that? He goes, you gave me a huge tip. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, and a life supply of Red Bull. And I'll never forget it. And I just want to thank you.
Wow.
And I was like, you're welcome, my brother.
Welcome.
You're welcome. And I thought, I've never handed anyone a Red Bull. And I'm not a big tipper. I'm a 20%er.
Yeah.
And I thought, I just talked to two dudes who had some sort of vivid memory carved out, who probably would say when their girlfriend was going, that Adam Carolla is such a douchebag, they'd go, shut your mouth, woman.
Right.
He gave me a big tip and a case of Red Bull.
Yeah.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
It's fun. I've experienced that a few times. I'm doing a lot of cons now, the fan cons.
Right. And
going, and somebody will have a memory of me that, most of the time it rings somewhat true because I've been around in a lot of places. The one that jumps out at me, there was this, and this was a number of years ago, probably in the middle 90s, when a woman my age or thereabouts came up with her friend, and she goes, "Do you remember?" And for lack of a better name, I'm going to say Bambi. She goes, "Do you remember Bambi here?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I don't think we've ever met." And she goes, "Oh no, oh we did." And she got this look like we had obviously,
coitus going on.
Yes, exactly. She was, very, very impressed with it. And I said, "Where did this happen?" And she mentioned a hotel in Philadelphia. And at that point in my life, I'd never been to Philadelphia. And I said, "I am so sorry, but obviously that was someone else."
Now you wonder, then you start. For me, it's all fun and games until it gets into the legal system.
Well, there's that.
And this person's on the stand.
Yeah.
Going, the father of my child
is
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah.
We met in Seacane. Yeah. We drove into Philadelphia, and he bedded me in his hotel room.
For hours, I hope.
And also, I don't think anyone is lying. I mean, these guys were having emotional memories of me doing things with them that never happened.
It's that Mandela effect. My daughter loves that term, the Mandela effect, because you misremember something, but as the years go by, it becomes embedded, in your memory, and very clear to you at the time. So, if you took a lie detector test, you'd probably pass it.
Yes, and I think we're never going to be able to correct that, because it's part of our DNA and it's woven into our fabric of us. But I think what we do need to do is we do need to do what Dr. Drew does, because Dr. Drew will go, "This is the way I remember it, but you tell me." Because I don't know, and my recollection's not always that good, and I screw a lot of things up, and I mix up things. So you tell me. Yeah. And as long as you're open to that, then we're fine. Because you're never going to remember things like you should, but you can't be wedded to them.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I did a movie, Courage Under Fire, is kind of the Rashomon thing, where you got, Denzel, got like 5 different stories from 5 different people, about what really happened in the fog of war.
Right.
So, you can extrapolate that to, everyday life. And, somebody's had a meaningful interaction with you that may or may not have ever happened.
I started thinking about it. I was like, well, I've definitely been to his neck of the woods, and he definitely could have driven me around. The generous tipper part doesn't sound like me, but you never know. And
you were having a good day.
The Red Bull, here's my only Red Bull thing I can think of. If I did some sort of station appearance and the guy said, "We're sponsored by Red Bull," and he gave me a case of Red Bull and said, "Take this," I would have left it in the limousine.
Well, there you go.
And then he would have thought that was a generous offering.
Yes.
Now, the other guy with the Toyota and the kids, I don't even know exactly what that was, but I'm not here just like the elderly Hispanic woman who sees Jesus in a tortilla.
Yes.
I'm not here to talk her out of it. If she finds some solace in that tortilla,
Yeah.
then I'm not here to make a soft taco out of it.
No, well, no, exactly. You can make her a frame because you made this table, didn't you? Did you make this table?
No, I made this studio, but I did not build
I thought you made the table.
this table. Well, I want to...
Well, see, that was a lie then. In the promo, that was a lie.
No, I made this table.
You did not actually make this table.
I am very careful to tell people what I did and what I didn't do. In the sense that I don't like stolen valor. I am a carpenter. I'm a journeyman carpenter, and I built all these studios. And I built the former table that was here. But a woodworker who is a high-end woodworker built this table.
It's a great table.
It's beautiful. And also, just because nobody cares, there is a difference between guys who do sheetrock and metal stud and framing and whatever, all the stuff building, and then the guys who build kayaks and stuff like that and laminate wood and steam wood and do a lot of radius work and stuff like that. I didn't do that. And people go, I thought you're a woodworker. I had to get paid. I couldn't sell $20,000 canoes. I had to show up on job sites and put my bags on and swing a hammer.
Yeah.
And that other stuff where I sell a coffee table for $14,000, that wasn't my business because it's not really Nick Offerman does that.
Yeah, right.
Because Nick Offerman has a job.
Yeah.
That's elite air. I'm in there slugging it out, framing stuff and pulling up subfloor and replacing toilets and stuff like that.
See, my wife is the one who does all that stuff. I cook.
Really?
Yeah, I cook the dinner. My wife is very manly.
She does artistry as well, right?
She does. I'm so glad you know that, Adam.
Yeah, I do know that.
She's amazing.
She's an amazing artist.
She really is. Unbelievable.
And listen, I don't mind the reversal of the roles in terms of you do the cooking and you do the carpentry or whatever it is. I'm fine with that. My grandparents had that. My family is pretty dysfunctional, but there was a kind of a functional unit, which is my grandfather, my grandmother, and they had a full role reversal in the 60s into the 70s and 80s. My grandfather shopped and cooked and cleaned and stayed home. My grandmother got up in the morning and went to the VA and worked all day and came home. And when she came home, dinner better be on that fucking table. That was her thing. You think it's some sort of misogynistic dude thing? No, it's whoever goes out and busts their hump all day in a job they didn't like, especially when they come home, they'd like dinner.
Want to eat.
Yeah, that's how she was. I understood it. Yeah. My only problem is I don't care who's doing which role, but somebody's got to do one and the other has to do the other.
Yeah, there has to be.
It can't be her doing all the fixing and you sitting on the sofa.
Yeah, exactly.
So you do the cooking.
I do, and I enjoy it. Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah.
What do you? Let me ask you this about cooking.
Okay.
There's a side of cooking that is sort of technical.
Yeah.
Where you're going, I want to see if I can execute this the way it's. I see the picture, I see the menu. I want to see if I can do this.
Right.
And then there's a part I realize is more spiritual. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Kimmel loves cooking, but that's because he loves offering things to people.
Okay.
He's nurturing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
He likes the notion of philosophically of creating something so someone can ingest it. Maybe the ultimate appreciation. Giving someone $100 is fine, or buying them a car is fine, but giving them sustenance.
Yeah, and
what I mean?
And putting yourself into it to put it on the plate and
yes,
hopefully it's good.
The more of you that's into it, the better. And then I realized, does he really like cooking, or is he really like people and sort of giving to people? You know what I mean?
See, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
There is a great portion of the satisfaction that comes from making a good meal and being a good cook, but it's okay, I'm feeding my wife, I'm feeding my daughter, and they're enjoying it, and it's and it's good for them and it's tasty. So that's there's a great deal of the satisfaction in that.
I think you're right in agreeing with me.
Yeah.
But I also then realized it's like a two-way street, because I realized my mom wasn't that person, and it manifested itself in not a lot of cooking.
Yeah.
because cooking is really just someone going, I'm going to take time to do something for you.
Yeah.
Versus I'm not giving you any of my time because I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
Right. And so then that leads my question, which is I ask everybody, or at least I try to, give me your mom's sandwich score. Now, let me explain. My mom was a 0 in that she didn't do a lot for her kids. She didn't make sandwiches.
Yeah.
Dr. Drew's mom is what we call a shit sandwich. She had a shitty sandwich, you know, like a sandwich that took 2 minutes. Like, there you go. Yeah. Get out of my face, you know. So then there's all that. Now, when you cross into toasting the bread, we're already at a 7. Because if you're toasting bread, that's extra effort. No one needs toasted bread on their sandwich. But if your mom really loves you, she's going to spend a little extra time and some kilowatts toasting that bread. And there's a lot of range in sandwich. But when the mom really loves the son, she gets a high sandwich score.
I'm really feeling bad about myself right about now.
Low sandwich score?
Really low sandwich
score.
Yeah,
but you make up for it in Denver omelets and other confection.
And here's the thing. My mom was an amazing cook.
Okay.
A fantastic. She taught me to cook.
Well, the sandwich score is not literal. Well, like if your mom was a wonderful cook who didn't make sandwiches,
yeah, she
I'll
didn't
give
make
her a
sandwiches.
high sandwich score.
You know, it was the Wonder bread with a little mayonnaise and some bologna. That was, you know,
low sandwich score.
Very low sandwich score. That was it. You know, that's what went in the brown bag going to school. You know,
but cooked meals at night.
Yeah, cooked meals every single night of the week. You know, so I mean the school sandwich thing was like I said. I mean pretty darn basic. Not even any lettuce or tomato. None of that. None of that fancy garnish.
Well, this is a quandary because most moms who score low in the sandwich department score low in all the departments. But your mom, this is an anomaly.
Yeah, 100%.
Low sandwich score, but
very
high,
low sandwich
high
score,
love.
but high culinary skills. Taught me a lot.
Was your mom of a culture that was not conducive to the sandwich?
Well, Filipino. So there you go.
Not a good sandwich culture.
No, not a sandwich culture at all. You know, as a matter of fact,
that was it.
Yeah, you know, I was actually at Anime Con in New York recently, and you know, you got a little thing from the vendor guy, and it took me like right back to my childhood, where you know the workers would have aluminum foil and a big dollop of rice, and then some roasted pork, and that was lunch.
That's Filipino lunch.
That's a Filipino lunch, and then you do the Joe squat, and you sit there. You don't even need a chair, and you eat with your hands out of the tinfoil.
The workers, you say?
Yeah.
Who are these workers?
They were on the base.
On the base. You grew up on.
I was born in the Philippines. Left before I was a year old when my biological father died. Then my stepfather George Phillips, who is my father as far as I'm concerned, he came back from Nam. He did 2 tours in Vietnam. And then so from 1970 to 1974, we got restationed in the Philippines. And so I spent, my early, 8 years old, 12 to 12 years old there. So I, obviously have some very vivid memories of that. And the gardeners and the construction workers and the road workers, they were all Filipinos, who worked on the base. So there was a lot of that.
It's just very interesting because moments ago I was in the other room and I was trying to work out this comedy bit with Rudy, my opener, and I said to him, I'm trying to work this bit out where I grew up in L.A., there was no snow. I try to tell my kids these horror stories from my youth, but it didn't snow, and we didn't have Vietnam. Yeah. Like the Vietnam dads, they're good. Yeah. They got, you're complaining about your teacher being mean or your coach yelling at you, and then they go, you ever been in a rice paddy with an M16 over your head? Yeah. You know what that's like? Yeah. And they got Vietnam.
Yeah.
And I realized my Vietnam was working at McDonald's.
Okay.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
I can tell horror stories about what it's like to work at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I can tell my kids, you think you got it tough. You never worked at McDonald's. But that's all I got. I got McDonald's.
Yeah.
Do you have a Vietnam? Like, what was your toughest gig?
Wow.
And you got into show business pretty early.
Yeah. Yes and no. In Texas, we have the Whataburger. It's called Whataburger.
Whataburger.
Whata, yeah, as in what a burger.
Oh, that one.
It's a Whataburger.
I thought that was Mark Wahlberg. Is that not his?
No, he's got the Wahlburger.
He's got the Wahlberg. Oh, this is Whataburger.
So this is Whataburger that was in Texas. So I worked there. I was a breakfast cook on Padre Island for a summer. My first celebrity encounter was I made a Denver omelet for Willie Nelson.
Really?
Yeah. So
over the griddle cooking.
Yeah.
That's what I did at McDonald's.
Yeah. It's rough.
If you think in terms of when you have a bad job.
Yeah.
When you have a bad job, what you want is time to pass quickly.
Phone sales. That was my worst job. Worst job ever. I didn't last long because I had such guilt. I think I was selling carpet cleaning, you know, and literally they give you like 12 sheets of the phone book back in the day, and you go through and you're calling each number, you're cold calling, and I mean the people would just get irate.
What is the slow? But I'm trying to think of. So you have a horrible job, and then you get paid by the hour, and so all you want to do is get to the end of that day.
Yeah.
Because you hate your job, but you can't leave because you're getting paid by the hour. And then there's certain jobs, like I had jobs, I delivered liquor for the Flask liquor store. And it was a job where you just load up cases of booze in a station wagon, drive them up, and drop them off, and then go back, get another case of booze. It wasn't a great job, but time passed quickly. Like delivery jobs, time kind of goes by. On the road, dropping off a lot of booze to the studios and places like Viacom and stuff like the 14 cases of Diet Coke, to bring it in. But time kind of went by. And then there was a job I had at Hoffman Travel where I just sat staring at a wall on a folding table, like putting where's Merv Griffin's tickets, put them in the envelope and put them over here. And I just sat and time didn't move.
Yeah.
It stood still. And standing over a hot griddle, it stops.
Yeah.
You just stand there sweating over this hot sheet of steel and it doesn't move forward. And 8 hours of that is a completely different experience than being on the set for 8 hours or something like that.
Yeah, and that time actually flies. I mean, people come to visit you on a film set and they go, "Oh my God, how do you do this?" And you go, "Well, you didn't really think about it, But I mean, most film sets, you're there, 12 hours a day,
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I should mention it too, which is available now to stream. Lou plays Brent, a director of a dark comedy horror thriller. And where do we stream this, by the way?
I think it starts on Tubi, like right now, but I think it's also been on Fandango. I think it's on a number of platforms, so not hard to find. It's Et2, which is I play a director who has mounted a regional production of Julius Caesar, and hence the title, Et tu, Brute.
Is for you, how much is there still? I mean, It's an interesting wild west of show business now because there's no real.
It's a weird world, yeah.
So it used to be for comedians, like let's say in the 80s and the 90s. Okay, had to get a sitcom. Do stand up until you get discovered. Once you get discovered, you get a sitcom, you quit doing stand up because who wants to do stand up? You go do a sitcom and then you make that buku bucks doing the sitcom and you get syndication money and you get Seinfeld money and whatever else. And now, if you talk to most comedians, they'd go, "I don't really want to do a stand-up. I don't want to do a sitcom. That sounds lame. I don't want to have to do that. Yeah. I'd rather go travel around. I'd rather do my podcast and do stand-up and a million different variations of creative endeavors involving comedy." So then, for you, again, the plan was get on a series, get a job, acting in comedy and show business, it's not really a job, but if you get on a long-running TV show, it can be a job.
Yeah.
It can be like a regular job, but you get paid like you're in show business. And that would become the goal for certain people, but not for George Clooney. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to do something else or direct or produce. So for you, I don't even know, like, I don't know if the end all be all is what anything used to be. Like, get on a long running TV show.
It's really different, man. I mean, and it's more of a gig economy than ever before. In the business. But the one thing that's really nice that actually has changed. Is that, when I started in the 80s and the early 90s, it's like, you're a movie actor or you're a TV actor or you're,
Right.
a theater actor. And you really did not cross,
Right.
boundaries. And now everybody's doing everything, I mean, please,
Right.
man, Sam Jackson is raking in the money, asking you what's in your wallet, you know what I
Right.
mean? And it doesn't matter. There are a very, very elite few who don't do television, but you got Meryl Streep doing TV, you got Robert De Niro doing TV, so there is no stigma anymore to not just how you maintain your fame, but in some ways, the more visible you are, the better it is for everybody. Now, I would love to, I live in New York now because I did a series called Prodigal Son, and then Fox yanked that after 2 seasons, which was a real shame. But I'm telling you, man, I'd be thrilled, to continue doing that. But you have to worry about, in success, you better like the gig. I can't imagine being, and I played a lot of cops. I can't imagine being that guy's like, hey, you're a loose cannon, mister. All right, watch your back out there, kid. And doing that day in, day out for 10 seasons. I mean that would be rough. So I don't want that kind of job. But if the right series came along, man, I'd jump at it. I actually am in a comedy series that comes on HBO this fall. In October, Tim Robinson, called The Chair Company, and I play his boss, and it's comedy, which is and I got to say the process of doing that show is
Wait, Tim Robbins or Tim Robbins' son?
Tim Robbins' son.
Oh, I'm trying to think which one Tim Robinson is.
He just had a movie out called Friendship with Paul Rudd. He was Detroiters. I think you should be leaving.
Oh,
yeah, that guy.
Okay.
So, and he's hilarious. I mean, he really is hilarious. He's got a very specific brand. Kind of cringy, kind of sometimes crazy, humor. And he created this show, The Chair Company, with Zach Kanan. And for me, it's a totally different process, man. I learn my lines, I show up, and I do the thing. But then they will change things up, at the drop of a hat. Or I mean, even after you shot the master, it's like, well, okay, let's do something different with that. And it's like, oh, wow, okay. So having to be really fluid and really, kind of just going with the flow and trusting, the comedy gods, okay, I hope this is funny. I think it's funny.
Well, it strikes me that comedy is a lot more fluid versus drama, because drama, you do a scene and you go, what do we need to accomplish in this scene? Well, in this scene, he needs to let him know that he's his son.
Yeah.
And that has been lied to by the stepmom the whole time. And then that guy kicks in the door and then this happens.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, that's what we need to do.
Yes.
Comedy, you have a scene, but it's got to be funny. It's not we just convey information and then we move on to the next scene. And comedy, you have to hear it out loud in order to really understand it. And you hear it out loud and you go, I'm not laughing.
Yeah.
And if I'm not laughing, then this isn't good. So now what we need to do is tweak this. So it's like a constant tweaking to capture this thing that is invisible and can't really be captured or even described, but we'll know it when we hear it.
Exactly. And so it's a living thing, and it's very fluid, and it's funny. I was telling my wife, it's like, and I'm directing a lot of TV these days too. And like you said, there's a finite goal. This is what we're getting to. This is what we know. Here's the script. Here's what we have to accomplish in a 12-hour day. I would tell my wife when I would come back, from a day on the Chair Company, she'd be like, well, how'd it go? And it's like, I think it went really well. I mean, on any other drama or, even when I direct, it's like, at the end of the day, I know what that scene's going to be. I know how it's going to cut. I know what it's going to come across. I would leave set sometimes on the Chair Company going, I have no freaking clue which angle they're going to take on this, but, I trust them to make it good.
Yeah, I've done a few comedies, and it's always like you hope that it works, but you're never quite sure because there's no audience.
Yeah.
And then, if you do stand-up, then there's an audience, or even a live TV show, there's an audience. So you get a pretty good idea for it. So comedy with no audience means no compass. I mean, means I don't know exactly what this was. Drama with no audience, you still know what it is.
Yeah.
The guy cried. It was emotional. Spittle came out of his mouth. We hugged. It worked. The cameraman was tearing up. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
You know what you got.
Yeah.
You got a scene. But comedy's like, I don't know if we know.
I was always grateful on the chair comedy. I was always grateful when I could see the shoulders of the camera guys, and gals. One in particular, Jenny, she was wonderful. I would make her laugh, and it's like, okay, if Jenny thought it was funny, then I'm good.
All right, we need to take a quick break. We'll come right back with Lou Diamond Phillips right after this. Morgan and Morgan. All right, let's get real for a minute. Everyone talks about summer being sunshine and backyard barbecues, but as well as I do, summer can be prime time for accidents as well. Ever slip by the pool, or maybe you got rear-ended on the way to the beach? These are summertime accidents, and that's why you need to know about Morgan and Morgan. Good dudes and gals. You've seen the commercials all over the place. They didn't get to be the size they are without delivering results. They've brought in more than $25 billion, that's billion with a B, for clients just like you. I'm talking about real stories. One guy got offered $500,000 for his injury, ended up with $29 million thanks to Morgan and Morgan. That's why they're America's largest injury law firm. It's Morgan and Morgan, right, Dawson?
Hiring the wrong firm could be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. With Morgan & Morgan, it's easy to get started, and their fee is free unless they win. Just visit forthepeople.com/Adam or dial #law #529. That's forthepeople.com/Adam or dial #law #529. This is a paid advertisement.
Shopify. Well, you want to start a business? It can be intimidating. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. Get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store to match your brand's style. Get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you. Easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond at Shopify. Right, Dawson?
Established in 2025 has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Carolla, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Carolla to start selling with Shopify today. Shopify.com/Carolla. The Adam Carolla Show presents Lou Diamond Phillips' birthday cocktail party for February 17th. Let's see who's invited. Here's American businessman and the chairman and CEO of IBM, Thomas J. Watson. Here's a French politician who's the namesake of the Maginot Line, Andre Maginot. Let's welcome legendary actor Hal Holbrook. Former coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Buddy Ryan, is here. From the Cleveland Browns, it's Hall of Fame running back Jim Brown. Here's the co-founder of the Black Panther Party, Huey P. Newton. Actress Renee Russo is here. From Home Improvement, it's Richard Karn. Larry the Cable Guy just walked in. Here's filmmaker Michael Bay. From Green Day, it's Billy Joe Armstrong. And from Foo Fighters fame, Taylor Hawkins. Actor Jerry O'Connell joined the party. Here's folk singer and daughter of Arlo, Sarah Lee Guthrie. Paris Hilton just walked in. Here's singer Ed Sheeran. And number 23, Michael Jordan. Lou Diamond Phillips is on the Adam Carolla Show.
pretty impressive.
I'm incredibly impressed with myself. Wow.
Yeah.
What a guest list that was.
I don't even know if you'd make your own list.
No,
That's
probably
that
not.
Good. That's star-studded. There's only so much room on the marquee.
Yeah, that's true.
That is a packed list.
It is. February 17th was a good day for
I've sat here and seen them come and seen them go, but that is a top shelf, at least top 5 lists, and I've heard 300 of those lists.
I'm proud to have been on it. Yeah.
You got a good birthday list, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's powerful.
It
It's
is.
a statement that was made.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like you could walk up and talk to any of those people and they'd have to talk to you because you share a birthday with them.
Exactly.
You
Well,
know
I
what
mean, the funny thing is, like, I know Richard Carnes, I know Jerry O'Connell. It's like, hey, we share a birthday. I don't think I'd be walking up to, Michael Jordan.
With the same birthday, I would.
But I could, yeah. That's a good icebreaker.
Same birthday. Listen, I get the left-handed thing every once in a while. Like I'm signing an autograph. They go, hey, I'm left-handed too. And I go, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Hitler was probably left-handed. Good.
Yeah.
So that's enough. But same birthday.
Yeah.
You could go to Jordan.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I was thinking about the politician Maginot
Yeah.
of the Maginot Line, and I thought it's got to be a little bittersweet for him because at one point you're probably feeling pretty good about yourself when they build the Maginot Line and name it after you. For the kids listening, that was just a giant line, rail system, underground tunnels, turrets, and everything. And I guess France just basically just built a wall around France. And they were sort of Great Wall-y, but newer version of a Great Wall of this thing where they go, well, look, if we just have a rail system and tunnels and turrets and barracks and kitchens and everything we need, then we will just surround ourselves with guns and troops, and then no one could ever invade France. And they probably started building it in like 1928 or something, because they were thinking about World War I. And then at some point, World War II broke out, and Hitler was like, well, we'll just fire up the Messerschmitts and the Stukas, and we'll just fly right over the Maginot Line.
Yeah.
And then we'll blitzkrieg and bomb you guys, and then you guys will surrender. So now if you're Maginot, you go, well, it was quite an honor to have this whole system named after moi. Mm-hmm. But every time it gets brought up, it was like Maginot, not effective. Hitler flew right over and bombed France into submission.
But it looked like a good idea in the beginning, and then suddenly, it is obsolete.
It did not work,
Yeah.
and it did not slow anybody down.
Wah.
So, I don't know. There's probably some Maginots floating around, like great-granddaughters and stuff like that.
Yeah. She says, don't bring it up.
Don't bring up the Maginot Line?
Don't bring up, yeah.
What year was the Maginot Line? What year was it complete, I guess? And I guess if you just finished World War I, where everyone was all dug in trenches and stuff, you'd probably go, this seems like a good idea to circle our country.
C'est magnifique.
Yes, but...
Yeah.
Let's see, sacre bleu? What would you say if you're upset?
Exactly,
As soon as you saw Hitler and his first airplanes flying over the top of it at 400 miles an hour, you had to think, this is not good.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to the Maginot Line. But I never knew it was named after a politician, and I don't know if it's still there. Maginot Line was built between 29 and 36. I said 29. It's good.
There you go.
There's, and I guess it was pretty much done. It got updated in 1940. They literally put the finishing touches on the Maginot Line, and then everyone flew over the top of it and bombed London and France. Well, I mean, obviously France was the first. Poland was the first, and then France. But the whole point is, it did not slow Hitler down at all. They probably were laughing as they flew over it, just looking down, going, nice, that worked.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. What's a bigger waste of money, the Maginot Line or us building a bullet train from Bakersfield to Merced? I think that's our Maginot Line.
They're building a bullet train from Bakersfield to Merced?
California is building, or maybe they threw in the towel, but our Maginot Line is a bullet train from Bakersfield to Merced.
There's that much traffic between Bakersfield and Merced, huh?
It's an interesting concept. I'm glad you brought it up, which is there's something very European and cosmopolitan and advanced about a bullet train.
Yeah.
People love...
Or, Japanese.
The notion of it.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
And it's weird because a train sounds old, but a bullet train sounds new. It's kind of a weird... Not many things can be olden times and futuristic at the same time. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you.
But it's weird. Like a rocket ship doesn't sound old and new. It just sounds new. You know what I mean? The only one that's old and new is a tablet. Tablet goes back to biblical times, and then Apple makes a tablet.
Yes.
You order at Starbucks with a tablet. But all right, let's not get mired in that. But there's something futuristic about a bullet train, and I think California decided we needed a bullet train. And so we figured, well, we're going to connect San Diego with San Francisco via bullet train.
Well, see, that would make more sense to me.
Well, we need to start with a run, and that run was Bakersfield to Merced, which nobody travels from Bakersfield to Merced. And if they did, they just do it in an SUV. But they don't like that because that feels old. So then we started a train, but it never got finished. And I don't think we're ever going to finish it. But I think that's our Maginot line. I think that's our waste of money that everyone's... Now, there's 10 Southwest flights that flew over that train in the time we were talking about it, and that's basically Hitler and his Messerschmitts.
But with Southwest, you get peanuts.
No.
Not anymore?
No, they pulled the peanuts.
Wow.
They pulled the peanuts.
Wow.
The best part about Southwest was the peanuts.
Yeah, that was great.
And then the seasonal switch. They'd go from peanuts to honey roasted peanuts at some point.
I do remember that, yeah.
And I could sit there just waiting in anticipation. Which peanut are we going to... What's the date? When do we get our honey roasted? And now it's pretzel twists.
Okay. Wow.
It's too dangerous to fly with peanuts.
Okay.
Too many peanut allergies. How come I never met a kid with a peanut allergy my entire youth?
Yeah, I
You didn't grow up with any peanut allergy kids, did you?
No, I didn't. No.
By the way, if somebody... I'm going by my friends in my youth, but if I had found out that one of my friends was allergic to peanut butter, or any of my friends did, we would have taken Jif, spread it open face on a piece of Wonder Bread, and stuck it to him like Tom Hanks did the sticky bomb in Saving Private Ryan to the tank treads. We would have just taken an open face and slapped it on that guy's forehead. There's no doubt that if I announced I was allergic to peanuts to my buddy Ray, I would have got a peanut sticky bomb on my forehead.
On the forehead. Yeah. That's the place to put it.
Yeah. And maybe the back if they came up behind me. But forehead's the way
only
to
if
go.
you're wearing a white shirt.
But nobody I knew, now half the people.
Although, I do recall in my youth people with like strawberry allergies or shellfish, that kind of thing.
Shellfish, I never found out who was allergic to shellfish because shellfish, I grew up in North Hollywood and shellfish would have been expensive and non-existent. Like there was no, we doing lobster, we doing shrimp. Then the notion of somebody buying shrimp or lobster or something, crab, that would have been an insane thing. Now you had the Filipino mom.
Yes, exactly. So there was a lot.
She got into it.
Yeah, big time. And
What'd she do?
What's that?
What'd she cook you?
We would. I grew up in Corpus Christi, which is like right there, on the Gulf of Mexico, and a lot of we would go shrimping with shrimp nets, and go crabbing with the chicken neck and that kind of thing.
How would you
go
go
there's
crabbing?
A lot of that. There's a couple of things actually. I used to actually wade out into the Laguna Madre with a net. and you could literally scoop them up.
Crab.
Crab. But also if you were going to like the Channel or something like that, you would literally get a chicken neck and on a string and you throw it in, and the crabs won't let go. They will not let go.
They would grab it.
They would
with their
grab
claw.
it with the claw, and then you just pull them up. You pull them up slowly enough, and they're greedy little bastards. So they will literally not let go until you get them to the top of the water, and then you scoop them up with a net.
And then how big would they be, or how big would they have to be, or did you care?
No, yeah, you would care. I mean, but blue crab size. You didn't want them too small, but then the small ones, wouldn't grab onto a chicken neck. So,
Oh, okay. So it was a self-selecting group of crab.
kind of, sort of, yeah,
And you'd pull them up,
Yeah.
and you'd bring them home to your Filipino mama,
yeah.
and what would she do with them?
Boil them up. We'd have a crab boil.
And how'd you catch a shrimp?
With a net.
Okay.
Yeah. That requires two people. You get on either side of the net, and you go out into the grass, and then you they call it pushing up. I'm gonna go push up some shrimp. And literally two people on either side of a net, and you go through the seagrass or whatever in shallow water, and a lot of times you could actually just see them, like popcorn. It would just be popping up everywhere, if you got into a good bunch of them.
Would your mom send you out, or would you do this on your own?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes she'd send me out, and my dad was into it too. He was a big fisherman, still is.
How'd they do the shrimp? How'd your mom do the shrimp?
Same thing, boil them up, man. Yeah, pretty straight ahead.
It's so weird when you're from the San Fernando Valley because none of that exists.
Yeah, right. You're not doing that.
And I talk to people, they grew up in Montana. It's like, we go hunting, we get venison. My dad make jerky out, we eat it all winter, all this stuff. And then there's the guys in Minnesota that go ice fishing and all that stuff. And then there's just North Hollywood, like, you just sit around.
Yeah, you go to the Ralphs. That's
you
what
just
you
go
do.
to the Ralphs.
Yeah.
Well, Lucky's, but there was nothing. It was weird. It's like I knew a guy who had a dog, and that's like as close to nature as we got. There was no outdoorsy. I mean, everything was outdoors, but there was no outdoorsman stuff going on.
Yeah.
I didn't know anyone who had a fishing pole.
Wow.
There's nothing. We're just like, it's weird to be landlocked and live on the coast, but if you live in North Hollywood and you don't have a car that's capable of going up the Sepulveda Pass without overheating, you're landlocked.
Yeah.
And we just sat there and, ate top ramen. There's nothing that, hungry man frozen dinners. There wasn't any of that.
Well, we had plenty of that too in Texas, but yeah, we had the beach, so it was there.
It had to be satisfying to go out.
That was great.
Do that.
Loved it.
Show up with a bounty of crab for your mom.
Yeah. Pickle bucket.
And she'd boil it up.
Yeah.
She'd drop them in while they're still alive.
Pretty much, yeah.
See, that's the other thing too. It would have bothered me if they were trying to hang on to something.
Yeah.
And then just bang them with the hammer.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's interesting because you do a lot of like in Baltimore or whatever, you get a shrimp boiler, you get a or New Orleans or someplace like that. Yeah, you literally just put out like a bunch of newspaper and just boom, there they are, and you got a little hammer and you got your thing and you just sit there, with the whole family around, picking crab meat.
What'd your mom do for sides?
She was, it's interesting because she spent a lot of time in the South. Obviously Texas, but my dad, my biological father's family is from Georgia. I just actually saw a bunch of them recently for the first time in like 30 years. But, she would have this Southern Filipino accent, y'all. That was so strange, And so her sides were always, like baked potato, corn, on the cob, French fries, and a lot of canned vegetables, the canned green beans, the canned corn, the canned spinach, even.
Right.
Yeah. So that was it was very kind of the white trash cuisine.
And I know you kind of channel your dad in certain roles.
Yeah.
Because he had a real kind of Texas sheriff thing going on, right?
Yeah.
So it's got to be weird to have your dad and your mom both living in your head because your mom sounded like that.
Yeah.
Your dad sounded like...
Oh, my dad just did a role last time I was on your show. I was, promoting that film called Get Fast, and I pretty much did my dad's, accent for that role because I played a cowboy. But he still sounds like that. A little foghorn leghorn.
Yeah, back, and then you're old enough to be around when people just thought stuff was weird. You know what I mean? Like guy was gay. That was weird. One guy, there was some guy whose leg was 2 inches shorter than the other leg, and they had the shoe that had the thicker heel on it or sole on it. It's like, that weird kid. It's like everything was always weird. So you, from my definition of that and that time, came from a weird family.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I didn't feel weird until I got to like college, and then to Hollywood. My best friends, in high school, there was the black quarterback, Danny, who became an amazing teacher, Tony, who was Mexican German, and then, our white friend, Rob, who was gay.
So you covered it all.
We kind of, and we just sort of gravitated toward each other and became friends without having to, to engineer, this diversity nucleus that we had. I didn't feel weird until all of a sudden I got into a place where I was suddenly categorized, but in high school I wasn't really categorized.
Well, I mean, you break out with Richie Valens, Hispanic. And you have Hispanic, tones and features and things, but not Hispanic.
Yeah.
All right. And then so that's a little weird because you're playing Hispanic, and now you got other roles to do, but you're not going to be Hispanic. Well, Stand and Deliver, you were Hispanic.
Yes.
Right. So your first big breakout roles were Hispanic, but you're not Hispanic.
Yeah.
Which is a weird kind of place to be in as an actor, I guess.
Now it's interesting, and we've had this conversation. I probably wouldn't be cast in those roles today if I was a 24-year-old, Filipino American actor. They wouldn't see me for those roles.
Right.
But I did the first film that I wrote that got produced was a thing called Ambition. Actually, I take that back. I co-wrote Dangerous Touch, which I directed. But I wrote Ambition. I wrote myself as a Filipino, and Cecilia Peck was my leading lady, and her father Gregory Peck, and so I got to go have a really lovely dinner, at Gregory's house, and he said to me, "Lou, you put me in mind of my good friend Tony Quinn." And it was like, wow, okay, that was like
Anthony Quinn,
and that was a huge compliment. But he was,
Zorba the Greek.
He played Greek, he played Inuit, he played Latino, he played Native, he played all of those things.
Played a dad at the age of like 88.
Well,
I think he had a kid.
He did.
Look up Anthony Quinn, because I think he had a kid like well into his 80s.
Yeah,
but keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, and you're seeing Pacino and De Niro do that now. It's like, wow, guys, you still got game. Look at you.
I know. But so what you learned is you could play whomever.
Yes. And a little bit more obviously aware of that now. I mean, I am proud of the fact that I opened up the door for a lot of other actors that followed me. And we now have more Native actors. We have more Latino actors, of note. But the early films that I did, even Young Guns, open the door for that. When you think about it, I'm the only brown brat packer,
And Young Guns.
Yeah.
I just read here you fell off your horse and got dragged for 100 feet.
Yeah, yards and
yards
by a noose around my neck. That was I didn't. The horse threw me, but there was a noose around my neck that wrapped around the saddle horn, and that's how he dragged me, man. It was ridiculous.
So you are on the horse.
Yeah,
100 yards, a lot further than 100 feet.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, you still got scars up and down your elbows.
Yeah, he broke it. What is that, about 6 inches long?
Yeah.
He broke it in 4 places, man.
So what happened? To go the whole, walk us through it. I love a good story.
It was pretty stupid.
Anthony Quinn had a kid when he was 81.
Nice.
But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it was a scene that wasn't even scripted. And it was the big breakout scene in Young Guns 2 where, Emilio comes wearing the hood and then all of a sudden the real, plan shows up and, all hell breaks loose and whatnot. And I got these plastic shackles on my wrist, a very real noose around my neck because the scene was not scripted. So they didn't know to make a breakaway.
Right.
And so now I'm supposed to ride into this alley that is probably no wider than your studio here. And I ride in one way and Emilio rides in the other way. And they got, stunt guys, with torches and shooting guns and going, all this mayhem going on. My horse, Arrow, by the way, was an asshole. It was hard to get him to stop on a mark. He threw Alan Ruck in rehearsal, and they'd already bought all the horses. So they go, well, what are we going to do with that? I'll give him to Lou. Lou can ride, So what I'm supposed to do now is ride this horse in, stop it on a mark, let go of the reins, put my hands on the wall next to me where there is an explosive device, a squib. And Emilio's going to pull off a full load. He's going to go bang, literally right by my horse's head. And then this is going to blow up, and that ostensibly breaks the shackles.
On your hands.
On my hands, okay? So they described this to me, and I told the first, I said, dude, this is, you're shooting a full load off by this horse's head. It's like a starting, gun.
Right.
What do you think he's going to do?
Right.
He goes, well, you're a good rider. I said, yeah, I'm a good rider with my hands on the reins. I'm turned around sideways on this, man.
Right.
And I said, let us ride in, and because it wasn't scripted. He was like, they'd already set up like a 3-camera setup. Because no, man, I gotta get this in one. I gotta get this quickly. We're behind schedule, of course, right?
Yeah.
And I said, I'll give you one take, but I need to see a producer because this is a little fucked up, know. And honestly, this is that was a hard lesson to learn, to listen to my gut, and I've never made that mistake again. But yeah, sure enough, Emilio comes in. I get the horse finally stopped. I got to say, Stevie Hanna was a wrangler on this, and he was doing everything to try to, get control of the horse. Laying on the ground, no, you're in the shot. Okay, monofilament, no, that's the horse breaks it. He was doing all this stuff to try and, so what he ended up doing was getting a bunch of the other wranglers and going to the end of the alley where they figured the horse was going to bolt so they could grab him. The horse didn't go that way. He reared up.
They fired the shot.
The horse rears up. I'm falling, and I had two thoughts. As I'm falling, I was thinking, I told you so. And then when I hit the ground, it was like, the noose. And I got my hands in it, and the horse took off. He actually turned around and went the other way.
And the noose was around your neck and tied to the horn of the saddle.
Exactly.
With about how much slack?
Enough to where I was pulled behind him like I was like water skiing, but face first.
Right.
And he was kicking me. And when I say 100 yards, it wasn't 100 yards straight. He took me through a pile of kindling. We shattered a wagon wheel. He took me through that.
Wow.
And he's kicking me the whole time. And what broke my arm was that I caught a glancing blow, to the head, which explains a lot. But I threw my arm up and that's when he got me, on the arm. And what actually saved my life because, there was desert and then Mexico.
Right.
We were in Cerrillos, New Mexico, but there were miles and miles and miles of desert. We were out in the middle of nowhere on this, Western, film set. He was heading for a gate, and my leg got caught on the railroad tie that was the side of the gate. And that spun me around. It took a chunk out of my kneecap. That got broke as well. And that snapped the rope.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that snapped the rope. And the horse took off and, later showed up at the barn. But, if he had kept running, I would have been a ragdoll. I would have been,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And what did they do with you after that? I mean, how did you
Well, what was
recover?
weird is I only had one scene left. I mean, literally, it was going to be my introduction scene in the film. So they just scrapped that, and that's literally how I left the movie.
Oh, no more.
Yeah.
They didn't film you, shoot
They
you
didn't
out
have
after
to.
that.
No, I was done. It was my last scene on a horse.
In today's world, there would have been a lawsuit, right?
The thing that pisses me off, to be really honest, is I said, I got to see this, man, because I mean we were rolling,
Right.
You know, and they said, you know, the producers were like, oh no, you know, we're really sorry the film got destroyed in the lab. I'm like, come on,
Right.
I'm not going to sue you guys. Come on, I'd like to see me get the shit kicked out of me by a horse. That would have been fun.
Yeah, yeah, be a good screensaver too,
right?
Oh man, well I'm glad you told me that story because that sounds painful.
It was,
but it's also anyone who's done anything remembers those conversations where you go, look, if I do this, then this is going to happen, and then that's going to happen. They go, no, I got a different head on it. And then while it's happening, you always think to yourself, you're maybe in pain and you may be scared, but the first thought is, this is exactly what I said, was going to happen.
Yeah.
The movie at 2 is available to stream, and also, where do we see? You can go to Lou D. Phillips as well. We can also, where do we see your wife's artwork as well?
Oh my goodness! Well, first of all, we wrote 2 books. I did the writing. She illustrated both of them.
That's right.
Yeah, the Tinderbox Soldier of Indira and the Tinderbox Underground Movement. We wrote the sequel because the first one did so well. She illustrated both those books, but she is on Instagram. YV Phil, I think, is her handle on that, and she does some really, really amazing work. She's got a ton of followers, and people are digging her. Ah, there it is, right there. Yeah, YV Phil.
Yeah, she's an amazing artist.
Yeah.
Well, always good catching up with you, Lou.
You as well, Adam. You as well.
And you can come back anytime you like. We'll take a quick break. Be right back after this. Homes.com. Some might say Homes.com is the best home shopping site. Maybe Homes.com's comprehensive and transparent agent directory. Or maybe it's that Homes.com is the only site that always directly connects you with the listing agent who knows the home the best. Perhaps it's because Homes.com has the most in-depth neighborhood content of any home shopping site that's extensively researched to highlight the personality of each neighborhood. Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring the home shopper the in-depth info they need to find the right home. I always check out Homes.com. I just like to kick tires and see what's out there. But if you're looking and you need information, it's Homes.com. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
I was in Las Vegas performing. There's no help for gamblers. There's one sign as you drive into Las Vegas. It says, gambling problem? Please call this number. That's ineffective. It should at least say, gambling problem? I bet you won't call this number. That would be more effective because these people have a gambling problem.
Mike Vecchione is on the Adam Carolla Show.
Good to see you, Mike.
Thanks, Adam. Nice to meet you, man. Thanks for having me in.
Sure. Mike's got a special low-income white.
Yes.
It's on YouTube as we now speak. It's got coming up on 300,000 views, which is solid.
It's solid start.
Solid.
We got some momentum going into it. And there's a lot of low-income whites that haven't watched it yet. So it's for free on YouTube, which should be a selling point.
Well, you know, it's funny. It's a non-selling selling point.
Right. Watch it for free.
Watch it for free.
And I read the comments, and some people are just like, this is, I mean, what is this guy doing? It's like, just shut it off. You can shut it off.
I do love.
I tell them, get off my internet.
I do love when people do that, where they go like, Ben Shapiro's coming to campus to speak. This isn't like, don't go.
Don't go.
Don't go. I went to go find. I went through the roster of all the activities that took place on Stanford or Berkeley's campus once.
Right.
And it was like indigenous peoples, tribal, ceremonial, whatever. I was like, out. And then there was like lesbian theory, whatever, about. And then there's the trans thing. And I was like, all shit I wouldn't go to.
Right.
But I'm not going to stop them from doing it.
You're not trying to deplatform?
Yeah, I'm like, there's millions of concerts I don't want to go to, but I just don't go. I don't go and go, well, I'm going to go cancel the Lilith Fair.
Right.
I would just not go to
Right.
the
I've been
Lilith Fair.
protesting for 12 years, ain't done shit.
And done shit. And also, being okay, so I'm guessing poor and white. I grew up poor and white. Mayhem, poor and white.
Allegedly.
What is this thing where it's like people are always like, who's going to do these jobs? Who's going to clean the toilet? Who's going to make up the bed? Like who's?
Well, now we have an answer. AI. AI is going to do
But
it. Call in a drone.
I tell people all the time, you don't understand. There's poor white people. Like
Yeah.
everyone I grew up with did this shit.
Man, I told my robot to clean the shitter. He said, I'm sorry, Mayhem, I can't do that.
Clean the shit.
But the argument is that the poor Americans don't want to do these jobs anymore. They don't want to do the jobs anymore. So what's your response to that?
I didn't want to do the jobs either.
Well,
I had to do the jobs. I was thinking about it the other day. I cleaned carpets, which is a horrible
Yes,
job.
it's very tough.
And it was steam cleaning, not the shampoo or the hard restaurants. We'd go in and do restaurants. I cleaned with Ray Oldhofer, Chris Bohm, Todd Euler, Adam Carolla, and another white guy, Willie Maldonado.
Right.
Who
The
was
carpet cleaning
another white
dream.
guy.
Maldonado does not sound white. I'm sorry I have to call you out on
He
that.
was a white guy.
Okay.
But the whole point is there wasn't any, we didn't work with any Hispanics.
Right.
We were just poor dudes who needed a job.
Right.
So they will do it, but it's poor people who do it. By the way, rich Mexicans won't clean carpets.
Right. I don't know. I worked at a car wash when I was in high school, and I was the only English speaker that worked there. So my experience has been different. It's in Florida, South Florida.
Oh.
So as a summer job, I got the job with a friend of mine. We were both on the football team, and after one day, he quit. He's like, "I'm not doing this anymore." And I had this thing in my head: I can't quit anything. So I just did it for the whole summer.
And were you just like a shag boy? Were you just wiping stuff down?
I mean, shag boy's a sexy way to put it.
I had a very similar
like it.
experience in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and it was me, a bunch of black dudes, and zero Mexican. No Spanish speaking.
No.
Yeah, it was a completely different vibe, yo. And but then the next summer, I did it in a different city, all Spanish speaking, the only one. So I get it. There's like some type of blue collar area where there's some overlap there.
Right.
I just say poor people will do jobs other people don't want to do in general, unless you give them an option. If you give them an option, you go, you can stay home and we'll pay you, then they'll take that option. But
I have friends who are wrestling coaches, and they're like from the areas that used to get these tough white kids to come out, and they would wrestle. He's like, that doesn't exist anymore. Those kids don't come out for the team anymore. Those kids are like smoking weed, trying to buy a car. They're not coming. They're not like hard.
No,
it's not. The times have changed.
They don't
We've gotten
play
a little bit
football.
softer as a society now. So I think that there's more options. Everybody's on TikTok.
Yeah, we don't let them play football anymore.
Right.
Like rich white kids don't play football.
Right.
I mean, I can't remember his name, but there was a linebacker who was kind of a standout. I don't know if he was all pro, but he was like a starter and a kind of a big deal linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers. Got to be about 8 years ago.
After 1 year, he retired.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, what's he retiring for? And I'm like, what does his dad do? And he runs a hedge fund, and he went in with his dad. And I'm like, yeah, that guy retires.
Right.
Michael Irvin had 14 brothers all living under the poverty line and had to provide for his... He's not quitting that job, but no one's going to get their head bashed in if their dad runs a hedge fund.
Yeah.
So that's what they do.
But there was a thing, I mean, I understand the whole CTE thing. I do understand it. But there is something good to contact football. It all, you know what I mean? It keeps you nice and humble. And that's why on Twitter, everybody just is rampant, just saying whatever they want because there's no consequence coming back immediately. In football, if you run headfirst into another person, like you're going to feel it, they're going to feel it, and everybody stays honest.
Oh no, we have weeded out the things that keep us honest in our virtual sort of digital world now.
And also the legal system has kept everybody safe from consequence.
Right.
If you jab a guy in the face, you're going down. You know?
Yeah, people need the feeling of sort of getting your ass kicked by another
missing
dude.
now.
It is missing. it's missing. It always it always keeps you where you need to be,
Right.
Because there's always a situation where you go, I can take this guy, that guy, and the next guy, but then this guy I can't.
Right.
And that is it keeps you even.
Yeah.
And it sort of keeps you working. And I don't. We had a guy when I was playing high school football, and his name was Ono Zwanfeld, and he played for Canoga Park. And I knew him because he was a giant guy.
Jewish, right?
Oh yeah, big Jew. all the interior line guys were always Jewish. And Ono ended up going to UCLA on a free ride. And he was just for high school back then, 6'6", 250, like just a big,
Oh my
big
goodness.
ass. Dude.
What a man.
That is
Big dude. But I was like, I know Ono's a big dude, and I know he's on the all whatever roster, and I knew the guys that made the all league team or whatever, but I was like, I could still blow this guy out of here. And we were down on the goal line, and they called like a dive play, and Ono was like lined up, squared up on me, and I was like, I'm going to blow this guy out of here. And I couldn't. And then I went back to the huddle, and I was like, God damn it, call another dive. I'm going to blow this guy out of here. I'm going to blow him out. And I got down, and I got low, and I could not blow him out.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, all right, well, I learned something about
You
myself.
learned your limits.
Yeah.
And Ono Zwanfeld, who's now, I think, a realtor guy, but did go
He's
to...
a realtor?
Yeah, Ono Zwanfeld.
Wow. Looks like he lost weight.
Well, he's
lean.
He was big and lean. I mean, he was...
I want that guy to put me in a home. I like the
guy.
way he looks. Guy looks like he can show me some track lighting.
I'm going to blow him out of this mortgage rate.
Yeah, he's a commercial realtor, I guess. I never had any beef with him. I was just
Right.
like,
No,
I'm going to blow
competitor,
this
yeah.
guy
Yeah.
out of here. And I could not. It didn't happen. And I had to think about that. I still think about it. It's been a while.
Man,
you know?
high school, yeah, I remember I shot a double leg on a guy who blasted me like I hit a brick wall, and flattened me to the mat
Yeah.
so bad that I grabbed him by the nuts. So I'm ashamed of it to this day, okay, but I was not getting pinned in 1 second. Instead, I got pinned in like 12 seconds.
That's always humbling.
Monster, yeah.
I wrestled
that.
also to get pinned in a
Buddy,
gymnasium full of people.
he just hit me with
Thank
the
God there was no
cross face.
YouTube back then.
Yeah.
That's humiliating. I mean, it just really is.
That's
It
the
really
business. You put yourself out there as a
That's right.
competitor, and sometimes you come up short.
Yeah.
But we need it. We need
Physical
more of that.
consequences.
Yeah, I basically...
Getting your bell rung.
Oh, God. I remember, I don't know, whenever I wrote my first book, but I just said, look, we took down the gym ropes because we didn't want to humiliate the kids who couldn't make it up the gym ropes.
Right.
And I'm like, taking down the gym ropes doesn't solve your problem.
No.
You just have fat kids who aren't
Yeah.
going anywhere.
Yeah.
Figure out why that fat kid isn't getting up the gym rope, and then let's help him get up
Let's
the gym
help
rope.
him.
And let's light the gym rope on fire.
Yeah.
See if he doesn't make it
Well,
up.
that's a little tough
I
love
bet
there.
he
That's
makes
probably-
it up.
Pitbulls at the bottom. That's my goal.
Pitbulls. We're going to light this gym rope. My whole point is the solution is not removing the gym rope.
No.
And that's where
No,
we're
I
at
don't think
now.
it is.
We just decided to remove all
Yeah,
this
yeah.
stuff and make everything as safe
Seems
as
like
possible.
it's swinging back a bit there, Ace. I think that everybody's aware of the problem now, and then we got
Yes.
TikTokified, and now
Yeah.
we're going, oh, wait a minute, let's harden up.
Well, if you have any moniker of mental toughness now, it's like having a superpower. So that's a
Yeah.
good aspect. If you raise your kids
Oh.
with any kind of old school way where they have to work through adversity and figure it out. But there's guys I wrestled with who were very talented and tough, and they didn't have the same experience I had because they were just winning all the time effortlessly because they were so good. And that happens sometimes. But if you're just not good at a sport, but you keep grinding and you keep working, you're going to have a much different experience, and it's more reflective of what you're going to go through in life.
Yeah.
No, I've said a million times, like, I got a 19-year-old son, like, he doesn't have to be the best or the brightest, the most talented. He's just to be able to work. You're
Right.
in this world now, if just having a good work ethic and you
Yeah.
will zoom to the top of the fucking ladder
Right.
because everyone is A, lazy, B, self-entitled, and C, probably stoned. Like,
Yeah.
I think way too many people are eating edibles and just vaping and like, I think a lot of young guys are baked a lot of the time, or at least were baked for a significant period of time, and it's dulled
For
them.
many years, I put a big handicap on myself because I was like, had mountains of weed behind me and was like, whatever, all day. And it does. It like puts you at a level that you can't cross up over.
I don't think people really fully realize that. There's a lot of guys, a lot of young guys who've worked for me over the years, and you're like, why does that guy want to go out and make some hay while the sun is shining? Like, where's the motor?
Right,
like when I came up with Jimmy Kimmel. That guy was like, what's next? What are we doing next?
Hungry,
Let's do something. Let's go. And then I started running these all young guys, and they was like, I'm going to hang out. Like I'd go to them, what are you doing this weekend? And they'd go, the Taste of Encino's doing a thing where you can go down there and get all the sushi you want and all the free beer you want. It would only cost $4. And I'm like, where's the work part of life?
Yeah.
And then I realized I think a lot of it was pot driven. I think a lot of them smoke.
Well, it doesn't help that there's a store on every corner now. I mean, I'm for the legalization of it. I really am. But it's like, and taxing it. But it's like in New York, where I live, it's like there's a store all over they did something. There were stores popping up all over the place, and then I don't think they had the right license, and then the government cracked down on them, and then all of them were closed, except for very few.
Right.
So something happened there where they didn't have. They gave them a grace period to get the right license, I'm guessing, and they didn't do it, and so then they shut them all down. So now you have all these weed stores that are just like kind of not open.
Well, America is like going through, all right, so now it's back kind of legal around everywhere. So everyone's learning how to smoke weed. Like everyone's suddenly, there's a big gold rush for it. Same thing happened in Colorado, happened in California. It's this strange thing that happens where nobody has done this. Now it's free and everyone's overindulging.
But I don't think the kids coming up now are doing it. The kids who are 18, 19,
no.
I have faith in them.
Yes.
I don't think that they weren't raised with they're not millennials. They're not, I don't know, they're not even Gen Z. What are they, Gen Alpha? I think that's what they're called. But they're not drinking. I don't think they're smoking pot. They're not doing any of that stuff. So maybe they're used to social media. They're used to having a phone in their hand with everything.
No,
so maybe it'll go back.
No, I agree. There's probably a lost generation of dudes that are probably between like 28 and 41 that just became a little they became little guinea pigs about what if you smoked pot all day and watched 12 hours of porn every day? What would that do to your mind? It's like, well, I think we found out. A bunch of self-entitled, lazy, fat pieces of shit. All right. The other thing I was thinking about, I was a little esoteric, but I was like listening to the 70s station. I was driving today, as I do, and I was listening to Casey and the Sunshine Band, and I was listening, and he was like, do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. Right. And I was like, oh yeah, like in the 70s and beyond, there was lots of like sinewy guys trying to get laid. Right. It's like boogie. We're going to go boogie, then I'm getting some pussy. It's like we're going to dance for a while. Then we're going to make love, then we're getting down, baby. It was like a lot of them getting down. Like guys, thin dudes, wearing jeans and driving El Caminos, just wanting to get pussy. Right. That's all they thought about was pussy. And if they had to dance to get pussy, they danced to get pussy. But the bottom line was, we got to get it on. Right. And now it's like Zoftic kind of fat guys going, we got a new video game to play, and we're smoking more pot, we're eating. They're talking about food and hanging, and Grubhub's bringing In-N-Out Burger to the house and stuff. And I'm like, what happened to all the get down? Yeah. Like it was a lot of boogieing and get down and get with you, girl. And it was, every song was just fucking and dancing and getting down. Yeah. And it ain't that way anymore. And the music basically always just kind of reflects whatever it is we're thinking and where we're at, like whatever it is we're doing. Someone writes, in the 80s, it's like cocaine and smugglers and everything's Miami Vice and all that shit. Right. And a lot of hair bands. A lot of hair bands and heat in the street and all that kind of stuff. But 70s was all just fucking and boogieing and getting down. It was all like boogie nights,
But there's something to be said for like, it depends how you're raised too.
Oh, yeah.
But like asking a girl out, like putting yourself at risk to be like, hey, will you go out with me? And if she says no, like being prepared to take the loss. And I don't know if that's being taught anymore either. And it's a tough thing because people are shy and they don't want to do it, whatever. But there's something intrinsically good about going and asking a girl out if you want to, if you are attracted to her and taking her out and she says no, and then still being able to weather that and charismatically being like, all right, well, keep me in mind, you know what I mean? And then going on to the next girl and asking the next girl. It's like, I like that. I like that kind of initiative.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking back to being at I was at the Sagebrush Canteen. I was like 20 and there's like 2 chicks sitting at the table. And we should come up with our greatest dump lines. But I walked over to 2 girls. I go, hello, ladies. Mind if I sit down? And the one looked up to me and she goes, why? And I remember going, I don't think there's really any coming back from why. So I'll just mosey on over here.
That was pre-Yes and Adam. Like, you were not ready to improv with that one, were you? Shut down. Why?
I didn't know
so we
where
can
to
be
go
together.
Why.
So we can be together. It's always after the
married.
fact.
Yeah.
I want to be with you. How are we going to be together if I can't sit next to you?
Yeah. I mean,
I love you.
I'll go wait in your car if you just tell me what make and model it is, my lady. If that's what we're talking about, I'll recline the seat.
Is that a bloomin' onion?
Oh, God, it was so brutal.
How are you going to be my wife if I can't even
right.
sit next to you?
How are we
This is the first step.
How am I going to sire your children if I can't find a place at your table? Yes, but it was good because back to being humbled.
Yeah.
It was good.
Taking a loss is good.
Good to
Taking
be
a loss
humbled.
is good.
Yeah, got to come back.
Yeah.
Every athlete I ever talked to that I had a kind of a breakthrough, I would ask them about days of yore, and they'd always tell me the fuck up story or the loss story.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, those are kind of my only stories about losing. Oh no, Zwanfeld. I remember that. I blew out everyone else, but not him. I don't remember that.
Right.
I just remember losing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, losing makes an impression.
Yeah, and we're trying to shield our young boys from losing, but we shouldn't be shielding them from
I don't have kids, but I do understand the instinct. I understand the instinct, but then there's a knowledge that comes after that where it's like it's wrong to do it. You gotta let them fall a little bit so that they can figure it out. And
I think there's an imbalance. I think what happened is women are always going to want to protect their kids from that, from the losing. And then the guys, the male, traditionally would go, get up, rub some dirt on it, get back in there, And the mom would be like, oh, here's a Band-Aid and a kiss and a boo-boo.
Right.
And then there was some sort of balance, right? And then the guy would say to the wife, like, hey, listen to me. I'm his dad. I know what's best for him. He's a man. He's got a whatever. Now the man turned into a chick.
Right.
So now essentially there's 2 women deciding whether the kid gets back in the game or not. And the answer is not, because they're not playing the game, because there's not that balance. We decided that the feminine route was the best route.
Yeah.
But the best route is the balance route, not the feminine route.
Well, they're erring on the side of civility every time. That's their
and
mentality.
safety and
but
protection.
It's not. Like if a guy never loses, never take a chance, then what the hell are you going to get? You're going to get a guy that's an automaton? Maybe that's what they want.
They don't know. What they don't really understand is unintended consequences.
Right.
Like you go, what if we defund the police and have community ambassadors instead? And it's like, okay, but that'll lead to something that you don't want, And so everything has a kind of a sounds good, but there's a downside to it. And the men are a little more into the downside. And also men are a little more like, all right, if we invade, if we do this beach landing at Normandy, how many guys should we expect to lose? Like, well, I don't know, maybe 30,000, 30 to 50,000, or 18 to 21,000 healthy 19-year-olds are going to die. And they go, all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what guys do. And then women go, if one 19-year-old dies, it's not worth invading Normandy. It's like, well, we're going to lose to the Nazis.
Right,
If you're going on if you're basing it on one person dying, then we're going to lose every single war.
Right.
So there's a certain amount of acceptable loss.
Yes.
And then you have to preface it with, I also share your dream of nobody dying.
Right.
But we still got Nazis, and there's still Hitler.
Right.
And we still got to take back
Somebody's got to do
Normandy.
something.
Somebody's
So
gotta
we got to
do it.
do something. But I agree in your proclamation.
Yeah. Mental toughness. I love it.
No, I agree.
I love it. And
gotta,
it should be fostered in families. But it's really the family. I mean, the larger society does inform, but it really starts at home.
I agree, and it's not going to, because what ends up happening is you get shouted down. Take it from me, the guy who was always like, hey, open the schools. You're fucking these kids up. You can't shut the schools down because of COVID for 2 years ago. You want the kids to die? It's always like something about you hating kids or you hating teachers or you hating... Like, no, I don't think the general hates his army.
No.
He just has to take Normandy. That's how it goes, you know.
Right. It's a difference of opinion, and be able to have a dialogue with a difference of opinion, knowing that we're all coming from a good faith place. That's really what the key is. It's like, if you think I'm coming from a good faith place, but I'm making a different argument, then you shouldn't be vehemently against me. Because
if your view is diametrically opposed, then of course there's going to be a clash. It's going to be
well, my argument is if you have a good argument, you'd use it, but you're not, and you're just saying I hate kids or whatever it is, which is kind of a weak argument, because obviously I don't know anyone who hates kids, especially their own kids.
Yeah.
If they're arguing to put their own kids back in school.
Right.
If I'm some gay dude living with my life partner in a place on Wilshire, then no. Maybe I hate kids, but I have kids. You know, I think I want my kids to die.
Oh, you moved into Wilshire though.
It's a nice pad. All right, should we we'll take a break, or do we? Yeah, do we take a break?
We'll take a break,
and we'll do some news right after this.
all right.
O'Reilly. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Yeah, they're in the business of keeping your car on the road. O'Reilly Auto Parts offers friendly, helpful service and the parts and the knowledge you need for all your maintenance and repairs. Always use these guys. Always go to wherever they are. And there's ones all over the place, at least where I live. I go to the one up on Foothill. I've been down the one out in Glendale, getting my stuff prepped for my car race. So whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you're going to find the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are knowledgeable, helpful, and best of all, they are friendly. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us online at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
This summer, Pluto TV is exploding with thousands of free movies. Summer of Cinema is here. Feel the explosive action all summer long with movies like Gladiator, Mission Impossible, Beverly Hills Cop, Good Burger, and Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Bring the action with you and stream for free from all your favorite devices. Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Ace Man. Went to high school in the Valley in the mid to late 90s, and we had a mean teacher. He was incredibly mean, but we all loved him. Passed away a few years ago, and it was actually really sad, but he used to pick up a desk with the student in it if the student was acting up, carry it out to the hallway, and throw the desk with the student still in the desk into the hallway. Yep. Couldn't get away with that nowadays. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
I don't mind that stuff. That kid learns. I don't know. By the way, not everything's assault or an attack. You know what I mean?
But it sounds kind of nuts the way he described it. It's like pick up the desk and throw the kid out.
It's like, the kid up and
let's not break his hip.
He set him outside. He didn't throw. That's his. He's putting his own hyperbole on it. You get fired for that shit in the 90s.
Right.
He picked him up. He walked him out and he plopped him out in the hall and shut the door.
Pretty sure that I've been victim to this crime. 100%. Now that I think about it, I remember that guy.
Our teachers in junior high would put their hands on people all the time. Yeah. I mean, you had to do something. You had to get. Well,
I was a teacher, and I worked at behavioral schools, and we used to have to clear classrooms, and the kid would be disrupting the class, and the teacher would be like, "He's got to go," and I'd be like, "You got to go," and then it would be a standoff.
You snap little Timmy into a front headlock and drag him out.
You'd have to go.
Cow catcher his ass.
You have to restrain him. First of all, you talk to them and be like, "Look, don't do this. You got to go." And then they would be like, "F you. I don't care about you. I'll take you out. Our cousin will come up here and kill you." Right. And it's like I just depersonalized it. I'm like, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. This is my job. Like I'm being paid to do this, so it's like you got to leave, or I got to take you to the ground. I don't want to do that, but it's up to you. You know, you make the decision. And they would do all kinds of things back. It's like, all right, last chance, and then you would put with the restraint team. You put him on the ground.
Restraint team.
Yeah, and then they would be like, my arm. It's like, I'm gonna let up on your arm, but you gotta work with me and de-escalate. You gotta stop struggling. You know what I mean?
The classroom floor. You're talking.
In the classroom floor.
Okay.
And then bring them back up. Walk them to timeout room. De-escalate them and get them out of the room. But it was.
Where do you get signed up to be an in-school suspension cop? What the hell?
Yeah. It was a behavioral school, so they lived on campus.
I got it.
Oh.
But it was a lot of that. It was a lot of posturing. But the more structure you had, the more rules, and the more, and also showing the kids that you care about them, that you're invested in them, that always works better than just leaving it to, to them. To decide,
It's really interesting.
There's some schools where it's like, some schools were crazy where it was like, well, we let them decide what they want to do. It's like, is that a good idea?
Decide what they want to do in what way?
Well, it's like these schools where it's like they decide what subjects they want, it's like they need kind of core basic. They need the basic subjects, and they need structure also.
Lots
you know
of
what I mean?
structure.
So I believe in that. But I taught in behavioral. I worked in a behavioral school, and then I taught in public schools. So
I have a lot of experience in behavioral schools myself.
That's where my dad worked. I mean, he worked at a place called 5 Acres in Pasadena, and he was the essentially principal for the school that was on campus.
Really?
Because a lot of these kids couldn't go to public school.
Right.
They had to stay there.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't work if they left.
Oh, yeah. A lot of those kids are thrown out of the public system.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
they're removed or thrown out, or some are adjudicated out, and they have nowhere to go. So it's like there's a real need for a system that works for those kinds of kids. And I was involved with a good program and they dealt with adjudicated kids. This is a different program. And it was like very specific, though. It's like kids who were in gangs, kids who did robberies, assault and battery. It's like no sold drugs but weren't really on drugs, but no like fire starters and no sex crimes. So they kept it very. I think that's the key in education. You keep it narrow scope, and then you're able to do a better job with the kids that you have. I find that to be true.
Yeah, that's fascinating, man. Yeah.
So I think my tack crows would work in this environment to get those kids out of that classroom, because it's got to be tough. I mean, how many guys would show up to take one of these kids down?
It would be at least 2. To the ground. And it's about securing, secure the limbs, because if you let if somebody doesn't secure a limb at the same time, then they start flailing.
Right.
And you're in trouble.
What's your whole take on the whole Rampage thing?
Buddy, I got so many thoughts about it.
Yeah, I want to know about that.
About it. He's not a young man. He's a grown man. And, he made a bad decision. All the onus is going to fall on him, ultimately, because he's the one. That whole situation could have been avoided so many times on so many levels. Somebody could have stopped that, but they didn't. And so now he's got to pay the consequence, and he will.
What do you think that consequence is going to be?
He might do some time on it. It might be nothing. This is a pro wrestling environment in which it's kind of murky what exactly happened. They gave him license to do it. The bit was in writing that he punches a guy until they pull him off. He did what they said. And
that's what it was scripted.
The script did that. So he did what you said. Nobody stopped him. The referee was standing there looking at him for unanswered shots, and now it's a big trouble, big problem. I got so much to say about it, but that's enough.
Why is that enough?
Well, I don't know. I don't want any kind of thing that I misconstrue. I'm very close to this situation.
Yeah.
So, I love
Rampage.
this kid like my own. He's a damn, I've
You've known him?
Known him since he's a kid, baby.
Wow. Since he was a baby.
So,
Wow.
Look, there's no excuse that, you can really make because he did what he did. But inside of a vacuum, that alone, okay, I can understand why the vitriol online, but if you look at the entire situation, you have a much more nuanced view of the thing.
Where do you come down on? I've seen a lot of UFC fights where the guy throws a spinning heel kick, the guy's out on his feet, goes down, slams his head against the back of the canvas, and the guy's laying there kind of motionless, clearly, arms at the side. And the guy does one more, Superman punch to the face.
Look, we are trained to punch the guy until they pull you off.
I understand, but here's what I'm saying. NFL guys in the past were trained to light guys up, coming across the middle, head first, spearing. They didn't have rules. Jack Tatum, whomever, you were there to take guys out.
Right.
You watch some of those old NFL things, and it's like, oh, they're giving pile driving quarterbacks and everything. And then at some point, someone goes, look, people are getting injured here, and no, you can't come through leading with the crown of your helmet if you're a DB and light a guy up. You got to hit him. You can hit him, but you got to have your head up, and they do it. And for the most part, that's what people do now, with an exception of shit happens. Yeah. But for the most part, what they did isn't what they do.
Right.
Still a lot of action and still a lot of hard hits, but not what it was. And so what I'm saying is can we start to institute things in MMA, which is, hey, you hit a guy solid, and you'll know you hit the guy solid because you did it, and the guy ragdolls down to the ground and is laying there, you can't dive on him and throw a huge punch. And
it's nice in theory.
Well, no,
shot guys down and then missed my shot at the end. I missed my shot, and then I lost the fight.
All right,
you see what I'm saying? It's nice in theory.
You have to. There's going to be. You're going to have to make a decision. People need. Like the ref makes a decision.
Right.
Is he calling this? Is he taking too much punishment? He's going to get it wrong sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But what I'm saying is you'd have to kind of change the rules a little bit.
The most infamous example of this is Mario Yamasaki, who was fired as a ref, who let fights go on. He would let these guys die like samurais. He really would let you fight. And then sometimes that would work out for the guy getting battered. He would come back. I personally have done that where they look like they could stop it, but I kept moving, and then they don't stop it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like when a guy goes down in a fashion.
I know what you're saying, but there's that you're talking about that split second. There's that split second.
It's not. It is.
Where he comes in with the and the ref does get in there and stops it, but there's that split second, and the guy doing it I don't think he knows the damage, the extent of the damage. I don't think he knows it's over.
Look, the whole thing about seeing red, that happens to MMA fighters.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You go on this mode where, look, we train you to pick the heavy bag up, pick it up, slam it down, and then go until we pull you off.
Listen, I know you guys like to argue. I'm not saying it's not nuanced. I'm saying quarterbacks do a hook slide, and the DB who's going to light them up go airborne, They don't lead with their head. It's a split-second thing.
This is fighting. They have a lot of pads in between them. There's a lot of different. It's
not that. We have coached people, aggressive people, to stop. Like we can coach you. We can go. It happens all the time in the NFL. The quarterback makes a run. Yeah. He's staring and he does the hook slide, and the guy has to do. The guy's closing at 30 miles an hour, and he's got to get around him, right? So. He got coached to do that. It was hard to do. You couldn't have got Jack Tatum to do it. But the next generation got coached to hold up.
So you think they're taking too much abuse after they're already out?
I'm saying it's clear. A lot of knockouts are kind of clear the guy's gone. His hands are by his side. He's ragdoll. And some of those Superman punches come in a beat and a half after the guy's splayed out. I'm saying that punch is illegal, the one where it becomes like a kind of we know it when we see it. We'll see it, but also you hold off on that punch and you won the fight. It's not like we give the guy a chance to get up or whatever.
What I'm saying is the reason that
the ref needs to do a better job.
The ref
too.
the ref's got to do. The ref's responsibility is, man, it's paramount. It's like the hugest thing. It's very dangerous in there, and it's easy to say. These microseconds that you can knock a guy down, and if you miss that King Kong punch afterwards, then you lost the fight. Well,
it's got to be ragdoll. I mean, it's got to be head slams against the
what I'm
back
saying
hands
is
on the
the Sada guy laid him out where he woke himself up.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
In that case,
no. The decision is hard to make in the moment.
If you forego the Superman punch, you win in this world.
Well, see, but then it's like what? Stand up in 10 count? You're reinventing boxing.
No. He's out. It's basically. It's back to football hook slide.
Right.
You are going to have to make a split decision of not to lead with your helmet, basically, when he does the hook slide. Now,
but what I'm telling you is much difference in fighting because these, I'm not arguing with you for no reason. What I'm saying is much more difficult to make that decision in the moment of if the guy's laid out, you need to finish him because if you don't, you're not going to get paid. You're not going to get paid what you deserve. Well, if you have any amount of hesitation in you, then you lose. It's a game of nanoseconds.
Well, you can say the DB, if he's holding up, he's going to get cut if the quarterback runs past him and doesn't do a hook slide, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Same with the quarterback going out of bounds.
Yeah.
Like you hold up. Or you could be cut if you light him up.
Okay, but in your metaphor, 1,000 of those things happen around. 1,000 different.
I'm saying you're going to have to start you're going to have to start infusing it into the sport.
But is it really on the fighter in this case? It's got to be more on the ref to cover the fighter who's been laid out.
The problem was the pro wrestling show, and this referee was just some fat guy who was drinking beers with them before.
Yeah, that ref was not a real ref, but he should have gotten involved.
Thing. Yeah, exactly.
No, but in
that's
MMA,
interesting because that's interesting because it's like how involved. Like I don't know this stuff. I'm on the outside, so it's like. How much do they stick to the script? And if he's sticking to the script, then how much is it on the other guy who's supposed to pull him off to hit his cue? You know what I mean? And does he know what he's doing?
There's so many mistakes on this janky wrestling show. Apparently it was a popular wrestling show, but not really well run organization where they're doing. It's not very professional.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if I'm the fight promoter or the wrestling promoter in this case, that never. Why on earth would this happen? It's just traps.
What was
Raja?
He fought MMA.
Listen, he's an MMA fighter through and through. He's not a top-level champion yet, but he's a young guy and has done fights. And you put him in this environment where guys are playing kayfabe. He's not joking. He's not a pro wrestler.
What weight division is he?
He fought a bunch of 45, I think, and he's
a bunch of what?
At 45 and 35 earlier, and now
What's 45 and 35?
Oh, sorry. Bantamweight.
He fought at one.
He did.
Wait a minute.
45. The guy's cut weight. Big. He looks huge. I know.
I know what. When you said 45 and 35, I assume you meant 145, 135, but he looked like he was about 210.
He's big. Yeah.
Well, I'm also going off a Rampage as a big guy.
Of course. But he's a little bit smaller.
He fought
at 45, yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Those guys rehydrate up. They ran the night before,
big,
right? Yeah.
I get the walking around at 175 and fighting at 145, but I thought he was like 220 or something.
No, he just looks really big and jacked, but he's a kid still. He's growing into his frame, and he's 25 years old. And this guy smashed a beer can on his head, and the whole thing is being documented so thoroughly on the internet right now that it's insane.
When was his last MMA fight?
I don't recall. A year or two ago. So
see what he fought at.
You're gonna have to look all this up. I don't know. It's just.
So he's still a competing MMA fighter who fought, who just participated in a wrestling show.
No, he didn't participate. He was streaming and doing the whole streamer thing where you go around into the backstage area, and then some guy, Psycho Stu, pulled a stunt on him, hit him with a beer can, and it's a clash of cultures. Okay, in mixed martial arts, I don't take any shots that aren't going to get fed back to you.
And so he wasn't supposed to be involved?
No, in pro wrestling,
I didn't know that.
You get hit with the can, and you're like supposed to go, oh my God. In MMA, you hit me, I ignore it and hit you. And he never got a chance to hit the guy back until the promoter egged him on to do a stunt with the guy.
So they did that almost impromptu.
Exactly. So they improv this thing trying to suck Rampage Son into the pro wrestling thing, and nuclear explosion.
So he was just hanging there backstage doing some internet
He was doing his streaming,
stuff.
like the internet streamers. They walk around and the chat tells them what's up. Kick's a big deal. He lost last fight in decision.
What did he
it's been a
fight
couple
at?
years now. Yeah, that was. Yeah, they don't have his weight on this Sure Dog. But yeah,
Let's see if we
he's
can
a
find
good fighter, and
his form looked pretty good on top of
bro, I
that guy.
coached him exactly that. Like I'm so mad. I'm like,
well, all right. So he wasn't even supposed to get in the ring.
He wasn't supposed to. Look,
I didn't
there
know
were
that.
so many trip ups in that entire thing.
Yeah.
So many mistakes made by the camera crew. And look, ultimately, it's going to fall on Rajah's shoulders. And he's a man. He can deal with whatever comes his way.
Right.
All right. Whatever your next. Now, just to put a button, what I'm saying is like the DBs. It's going to take a generation to train guys to go, you don't lead with the crown here. Because at the beginning, I was like, are you fucking nuts? We're not doing that, or we're going to get hit, or whatever. But if you trained that.
What rule are you trying to institute here, Ace?
I'm trying to institute the guy lifeless on the ground with the Superman punch when the guy's unconscious.
But that microsecond, I'm telling you, I have sat down lifeless and gone, I'm back, and won.
Right, but here's what I'm saying. Quarterbacks are not allowed to break out, fake a slide, and then keep running. Yeah. They go, you stop the.
But that's why it's up to the ref, like in boxing, when the ref decides like you're knocked out on your feet or you can't go, you're just taking too much punishment. The ref will jump in and stop it.
Yeah, but in MMA, a guy can get dropped and then roll back to his guard and start fiddling around and get a leg lock suddenly. Happened to one of my fighters recently. If they would have jumped in and stopped him, then, you know what I mean? He wouldn't have got that next fight that led to a title fight.
We're talking about out on your feet, back of the head slams on the canvas one. I'm not talking about
and it's always up to the referee to determine that.
No, I know. But they're not always in position to prevent that last crazy.
I thought of a way to do it where they have kind of a shield to block this. I agree with you completely, and I dreamed up the solution for this already to have this kind of a shield between a padded thing to make sure this doesn't get through. I think it's terrible too, but there
are plenty. Well, not plenty, but there's a few guys who, when they tag the guy, turn around and walk away.
Yeah, you're right.
And they know when they've connected, which is always a great look. It's kind of a walk-off home run kind of.
But more often than not,
they have to stand over him and they watch him fall, and then then the instinct is to go for that.
No, but if you're not sure that you got this clean one, you're paying attention.
Adam wants to bring him flowers.
No,
on the last, he said just bring him some flowers.
If there's any gray area, you're allowed to drop it in. This is only ragdoll, hands at the side, flopped out. This isn't struggling for anything. Even grabbing the ref's foot or something. That's still. I'm talking. You got to be unconscious. See, this wrestler got his head slammed and was unconscious the whole time. And it was clear he was unconscious. That's what I'm talking about, not any version of flailing or anything. But anyway, all right, next story. Homes.com, some might say Homes.com, is the best home shopping site. Maybe Homes.com's comprehensive and transparent agent directory, or maybe it's that Homes.com is the only site that always directly connects you with the listing agent who knows the home the best. Perhaps it's because Homes.com has the most in-depth neighborhood content of any home shopping site that's extensively researched to highlight the personality of each neighborhood. Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring the home shopper the in-depth info they need to find the right home. I always check out Homes.com. I just like to kick tires and see what's out there. But if you're looking and you need information, it's Homes.com. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This summer, Pluto TV is exploding with thousands of free movies. Summer of Cinema is here. Feel the explosive action all summer long with movies like Gladiator, Mission Impossible, Beverly Hills Cop, Good Burger, and Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Bring the action with you and stream for free from all your favorite devices. Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
Well, the biggest story of the year, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. Whoopity-doo.
Well, do they have a date?
I don't know. I didn't
I think
check
it should
the
be.
registry.
I think it should be during the Super Bowl.
I think it should
Get
be
them married
halftime.
during the Super Bowl.
I think Kendrick Lamar should read the vows.
Also, she's got to register at like a Bed Bath & Beyond, and like I want a crock pot and an air fryer.
I got so much coupons, I'm getting them everything.
People should be forced to buy them like stuff that's like $41
A Cuisinart.
online, right? Like I would lean into it if I were her. Like I would go, look, in lieu of getting us an air fryer or a crock pot, we really wanted to go to Maui. And if everyone just kind of kicks in $100, we could do this. The Sheraton, we can do 3 nights at the Sheraton in Maui. It's not on the water, but it's close enough. And just fucking do one of these things where you in earnest. I don't want the crock pot, and I don't want to give the money to cancer research. We've earned a honeymoon. Both of us work our asses off.
They work hard.
We work hard.
Doesn't matter she's a billionaire.
I'm getting married. You want to get us a gift. We're getting married. We want you to contribute to our fund for our honeymoon.
Crowd fun.
And they also have cute things like people could buy us a bathrobe to use on that, or a towel, or like a certificate for couples massage at the hotel. They also have a buffet that is $29 a day per person. People could buy it. We'll put that on the website too.
Okay, I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
All right, it's wonderful.
No, I think people should I like the idea of them getting them just regular gifts. Like, I got you a crock pot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got you an air fryer.
Mm-hmm. I
got you a towel with a T on it. 2 of them.
Yes. Yeah, 2 T's. Right, with the towels. I agree. Maybe a gift certificate at for Target.
Red Lobster.
Or Red Lobster or the Starbucks gift certificate would be good.
I just named an elephant after her, actually, in her name, and I got a star for Travis Kelce. I bought it online.
You bought a star?
Yeah, I named a star for Travis.
Oh, that's
You can do
good.
that now.
Yeah.
You can do that.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I have a star or planet named after me, actually.
Uranus?
Oh, come on.
Waka, waka, waka.
By an actual physicist. Like this is
What
an
the
actual
fuck?
star.
You hanging out with Black Science guy Neil Tyson deGrasse?
No,
okay.
something like that. But no, this is an actual thing, which I was like, this isn't a name a star bullshit thing. This is an actual asteroid or something.
What?
They get to name them if they discovered him.
Is it hurtling towards Earth?
Yeah, what is it?
Complaining the whole
Yeah,
time?
what's your end of it?
Tom Bobine. Look up Tom Bobine, I think. He's an astrophysicist. He was a big fan, and he named this asteroid
Sick.
after me, which I was like good with, but if it does hit the Earth,
You're gonna have to answer for a lot.
Mike Carolla's coming, baby.
yeah,
Adam Carolla.
I will get
I'm going to
blamed.
send fucking Bruce Willis up there after you.
That's right. Let's say an asteroid named after Adam Carolla is 4535 Adam Carolla. Details about the asteroid discovery. It was discovered in August 86. Henry DeBarge at the European Southern Observatory. Classification is it's a main belt asteroid. Physical characteristics, it has an estimated diameter of about 20 kilometers. Listen, but traveling at 10,000 miles an hour, it's going to take Texas out, man. Orbit's orbital period is 10 hours and whatever. I don't know what it is, but the point is if it hits this planet,
I'll be like, don't
That's
want to
great
close
PR.
my eyes. Don't want to fall asleep because I miss you.
me and Liv Tyler are going to be making out right before it hits. Yeah.
Wherever it hits, then you should perform live, like the next
Yeah.
week. Yeah.
Live from the apocalypse, it's Adam Carolla and friends.
Right.
I'm opening for this one.
Live from the Crater Room. Yeah.
Hey,
formerly Magoobies.
Yuck Yucks Chuckle Hut.
Now it's yeah. See, but I'm thinking it's going to take the planet out.
Yeah.
Not
I'm saying
square
12 kilometers. Somebody do the math on this. 12 kilometers going 10,000
It's 10 kilometers, and isn't that 6 miles, right?
Yeah, but 20 around. That's a big rock, bud. You're going to fucking end the world. Extinction level event.
Yeah, well, for me, it's not going to take the entire globe out, but the nuclear winter I cause after I hit the planet is what's going to end life as we know it.
It's a solid closer.
So look for that. Yeah.
There's one meerkat left to repopulate humanity.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, I think the sitcom is I Survive in Mark Zuckerberg's bunker in Hawaii. And it's always a bad vibe because I'm the name of the meteor that took out the world, and just me and Zuckerberg are alive in Maui in his bunker,
And then you guys do a bosom buddies type thing?
Yeah. We do a thing.
I was thinking his Chinese wife's coming on to you all the time.
It's a sitcom.
She's gone. It's just the two of them.
She's gone.
Shit.
She was in town.
Oh,
when
well,
it
you
hit.
guys can repopulate
Just
the
us,
earth.
It's a sitcom, like a montage of me lighting a cigar and him going, come on.
You have to have the episode where you have a piece of tape down the middle of the bunker.
Yeah. Well, I don't want. All right. You want everything to be. Then we'll put a piece of tape. We'll put a piece of
the
tape.
kitchen's on your side.
The toilet's on my side. So lump it, Mark. Yeah. We do that whole thing.
Yes.
And, he wants to. His whole thing is he's getting into MMA now. He wants to do jiu-jitsu. But I'm like, I'm not rolling with you. That ain't my thing. And he's begging because he needs a partner.
Right.
And you're sitting there over there with your hand pads, like looking at him like, wish I had somebody who would hit these.
No, he wants to do jiu-jitsu. Yeah, it's just the two of us, kind of odd couple-y thing. Living off canned food down there. Wife's gone, blames me. I'm the name of the asteroid. It's weird.
And then if something doesn't work out in the world now, you just got Carolla'd.
Right.
Right? It's a catchphrase. You need a catchphrase.
Also, I'm handy, so I can fix stuff, and like the toilet's leaking, and he can't fix it because all he can do is coding. You know what I mean? He needs a blue collar.
No, he's looking at the screen. He's like, the arsenic levels are off the chart. Would you do the air filters? And then you're over there, air filters. I got it. I can see this whole thing. Oh, what about his robot girlfriend? Is she going to show up in this?
Well, that's part of the sitcom.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
He builds a robot girlfriend?
No, he already has it there.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
He's got his robot.
Okay.
He's got his robot girlfriend in there. And he finds that I've been clearly mussing around with it because her left titty smells like cigar, and he notices that. You know what I mean? And he knows I've been on it.
That's a good episode.
That's a
you
good
cheated.
You're like
the robot girlfriend cheated with you.
Yeah.
The roommate.
He's like, I found chili on her right tit. Her left tit smelled like cigar. Don't tell me. And I'm like, hey, I'm smoking a cigar and eating chili. And I'm like, whoa, where are you coming from?
Another time he comes home and you have rubber gloves on and a toilet brush and she's bent over.
Right.
You're like, excuse me. Sorry.
It kind of writes itself.
It does. I think they found a cigar in her belly button, and he's like, "What's this?" And then it all.
Yeah, ashes. I've been ashes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I think at first he would be depressed because of all the Facebook friends he lost.
Mm-hmm. Lost
when
them
the
all.
meteor hit.
Mm-hmm. Nobody's liking this post.
Mm-hmm. And then there's a kind of thing where we decide to wander out.
Yeah.
But wasn't sure who should go through the blast door first. You know what I mean? So maybe it's a rock, paper, scissor type situation.
That's an episode.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's a weird thing where I'm like, I'm going to hang back with Emily. And he's like, Emily? Yeah, that's Sex Robot. And he's like, first off, it's just a robot. And then secondly, her name is Deirdre. And I'm like, well, she responds to Emily now, bro. And he's like, what? And then we both yell at her, and Deirdre. Deirdre doesn't look up. Emily, come here, get me another cigar. And it was okay. And he's all pissed off.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I can't wait for the episode where the Hawaiian population all bedraggled is knocking at your door.
Ooh,
yeah, you know what I mean?
Here's a special
irradiated rock.
Here's a
Super
special episode. At some point, we find out that Richard Branson and that, let's see, who else? Oh, Richard Branson, Bezos and Elon all knew my meteor was coming to the planet and went off the planet. But they're back down now.
Right.
And they went in the bunker. They've returned from orbit. Now everything's gone, but they're back.
Right.
And they're in their spacesuits, and they know we're in the bunker, and they went in the bunker. And that's maybe that's a season finale. That's a two-parter right
or like
there.
season 2 like starts with Oprah and her army. She's the overlord of a robot army of some sort, trying to take. Yeah, man.
And then Richard Branson, we let in. He starts working his action with the sex robot. You know, we catch him like drinking martini and like talking for a while. Like, you remind me of my first wife. And then she's like, thank you. And I'm like, all right, Rich, kid, I knew this was a bad idea. I knew it. It's good, right?
That's a great one. If a network doesn't pick that up, that's their fault.
It's on them.
It's on them.
It is.
Or at least a streaming service.
It's in development hell right now.
Yeah, it's tied up in development. All right. I'm tired from all these scenarios.
Hey, I got one more story for
one
you.
More.
Well, I'm getting a huge refund because the famed Orgy Dome, one of Burning Man's longest running and most notorious attraction, was destroyed by high winds during a fierce storm in Black Rock City, organizers confirmed.
The Orgy Dome was...
What do you think about that sign? What do you think about the craftsmanship?
I think it was destroyed by Christ.
I was going to say the Lord.
You know what I mean? The
worked in
Lord
mysterious
saw that
ways.
and said, not on my watch.
The power of Christ compels you.
Yeah, the Orgy Dome.
I didn't know Burning Man was still happening.
Oh, yeah.
It's happening like every year.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
I saw the traffic going... The traffic going there, it's like, oh, God.
The cops pull you over and they're like, do you have drugs on you? And you're like, no. And they're like, why not? You need to be doped up to go here.
It's like that scene in Independence Day when all the RVs are like going through the desert. That's what it looks like. It's like a cavalcade of cars just driving through the desert. I don't. Hey, listen, you know.
Wait, what were you doing out there, Ace? You like came back from Area 51 or something?
I've seen footage, and there's who's the comedian who goes every year? Oh, I'll think of
Andrew Dice Clay.
No, I can't. I'm spacing out on his name. No, not Moshe Kasher, though he probably goes as well.
Doug Benson?
Good old Benson.
Doug was probably there, and they built it around him. I feel like he was already.
I'm trying to think of pot guys.
Doug was already there. No, this isn't.
Ari Shaffir.
No. So here's the thing. Not a pot guy.
Psychedelic dude?
Oh.
Now I got to think of.
Or he's just macro dosing over there?
A straight edge?
I am not a straight edge
just
either.
A weirdo?
An edgelord?
All
these different names and stand-up now.
Not Duncan Trussell. I'll think of it.
Sam Tripoli?
No, it's not a usual suspect.
Carrot Top
guy. No.
Gallagher
all right,
too.
Well, we took a shot.
Sorry. Harlan.
Oh, the Harlan Highway is up there?
Harlan, right. I think he goes.
Yeah.
I think he goes every year, and he just does it like he enjoys it. I don't think it's he's in the whole scene. He just does it. I think Harlan said he does. But anyway, the Orgy Dome has
Yeah, tell them it's off. It's over with. They're going to try to rebuild it. I don't know, out of dildos or something. It's going to happen.
It got hit by the meteor.
Oh, the Adam meteor.
The Adam Carolla meteor hit it.
Yeah, so they're going to try to rebuild.
Rebuild and rebrand. That's what everybody does now. Rebrand it.
Let me tell you something I've learned sexually. Lots of lube and lots of sand don't go well together. That's a bad combination.
Both made
right
of silicone.
Your
you know
cock
what I mean?
becomes 60 grit sandpaper at a certain point. The wind kicks up. You're covered with lube, and all of a sudden you become a fucking drill bit. That's a bad combo. You don't want sand and lube.
High viscosity. I know. I'm telling you.
You become a sanding disc, like a belt sander at a certain. You become an oscillating spindle sander at a certain point. If we get enough sand and enough lube on your cock,
my cock is a lathe.
Yeah, it'll grind a woman down. That's not a good situation. You want lots of green grass and a placid lake, and then lube and dome,
and hopefully a blanket.
But you don't want sand and lube.
Sand and lube. That sounds like a good stand-up special.
Sand and lube sounds like a good place. Sounds like a decent sandwich place.
Middle Eastern pornographic film.
It sounds like something. All right, let's see, Mike. Where do we go? The special Low Income White is out. Available.
It's on YouTube. My friend Nate Bargatze gave me a place to put it on his platform, Nateland, the YouTube page. It's called Low Income White. Please watch it. Please follow me on all social media platforms at Comic Mike V. I'll be in Baltimore September 25th at the Port Comedy Club, and October 5th I'll be at the Columbus Funny Bone. First show is sold out. The second show is open, so please buy tickets.
And you can go to the website to
MikeVecchione.com for dates, but please follow me at Comic Mike V on all social media platforms.
So, me going to be in Provo doing Dry Bar this Friday. A couple shows over there. And Torrance, Mom said, now, first show sold out, but they say the second show is still around. And then Charlotte coming up, and also El Paso. Mayhem, what do you got?
I got Big J Okerson on the Mayhem Show. YouTube.
Oh, great. And Lou Diamond E2 available to stream. And until next time, Adam, for Lou and Mike and Mayhem saying mahalo.